Welcome to Day 7 of the MacMania V Video News Blog. Hi, I'm Janet Butler with Media Support Group. This may be the last day of our cruise, but there are still plenty of activities going on. In fact, we have a special treat. We have been invited to the ship's bridge to interview the captain. Captain Schonderbeek has been sailing with Holland America since 1979 and actually met his future wife on board ship during the Grand World Voyage of 1987. In addition to being a captain, he is also quite a historian, having co-authored Holland America's official company history. We wanted to ask you just a few general questions so that you could help us understand some navigation terms. First of all, starboard and port. Which is which, and yes, why?
Starboard port, it comes from the old days when there were rowing ships. So the starboard would be the side where the steering wheel would be. The helms would stand like this. That would be the starboard side for the steering. And his back would be to the port side or the backboard side. They always used the dock, of course, with the steering ream towards the open waters, otherwise they might hit the dock. So most of the ships would always dock port side alongside. That's the English way of translating it, but in the European way it's called bakkerboord, or where the back used to be.
Do you all still use sextants to navigate?
We still have them on board, and it's still mainly now for the cadets. We basically do all the navigation on GPS or on radar. We can show you that in a moment. But of course there's always a chance that somebody would switch off the GPS system, and then we go back to basics with the time with the clock and the sextant and the magnetic compass. We still have everything on board and we can still do it, but it's a tradition that's slowly fading.
There is a wide array of screens displaying the ship's instrumentation. Captain Schonderbeek explains.
So at the moment we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 engines in line. We're going full speed, getting back to Tampa. And from over here you can call up any engine that you see. This is DG1, so diesel generator 1. This is the engine. This is the electric motor behind it that gives all the speed. And we got 5 of those, and altogether they provide all the propulsion for the ship. If you look at the picture of the radar, the blue that you see is the ocean. The white line is the course of the ship. And just next to the white line you can see a little white triangle. That's not a ship, that's on our port bow, and it's crossing to starboard, so they're crossing in front of it. And if you look at the right hand side, we called up what that ship is. The name, the course, the speed, where it's going and what sort of ship it is. We can find anything out from our neighboring ships, what they are and where they're going. And if they come too close, we can give them a call and say, hey, what are you doing? Then we'll move a little bit further over and you come to the helmsman console. In the old days you needed big wheels from the sailing days because those wheels were directly connected to the rudder. So the bigger the wheel was, the easier it would be to turn the rudder. Nowadays, of course, you just do it with a push button. So we still have a little wheel because it's handier.
What is this clear window in the floor?
Okay, nowadays cruise ships have covered bridge wings, so you cannot look over the wing anymore to see where you are. So we have a window in the deck, or in the floor as you would call it. And what it makes it possible for me is when I'm standing here, I use these controls, these 4, or I use what we call a joystick, which means if I move the handle like this and I go like that, the ship will go in that direction with the speed that I order to give. So when we now come into port, we stop the ship and I simply look at my little red mark down here, and I can bring the ship exactly over the pier on my little red mark, and we can stop the ship, park the ship on an inch. Like yesterday when we were in Costa Maya, we have a little sign on the dock, and I docked in 1.5 inches.
Wow.
So it's possible just because you know the controls of the ship, and I'm just standing there watching. We have the bow over here, and we have the ship's bell hanging there in the middle. That's the official ship's bell with the ship's name on it and the year of commissioning. And this is one of the observing areas where people can stand when we do scenic cruising. We now have it blocked off because of the wind against us, and because people would like to do a Titanic in the evening, which means that when everything is dark, people try to creep forward and do the same thing as they do with a movie, stand there with their arms wide, and which is fine on a beautiful, quiet day, but not with 30 knots of wind on deck as we have at the moment.
And they do this at dark?
Yeah, of course, because some of them people are afraid when the doors are closed that we won't let them, so they think in the dark they cannot see it. We cannot see them.
It's a beautiful view. I can see why you get hooked on this.
Go. My wife thinks it's boring and said it's about the same thing as watching paint dry, but I always find the sea fascinating. So you stand out there and it's always something to see and always something to enjoy, and it's just the best view on the ship. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
What a wonderful ending to a great cruise. We didn't have time to include all of the captain's interview. If you would like to see the entire interview, click on the link below. Well, if I hurry, I think I have time to make one last class. See you later.